Now, with what we're getting, in this game, there actually is no reason for it. It is, ladies and gentlemen, the famous Stop and Swap. Stop and Swap was something that many people speculated on for ages when it came to the Banjo-Kazooie series, especially in the 90s. Wait, what the? Why? Snacker? Where's my island? What the heck? Wait, why didn't this show up? Wait, you're not telling me that I can't even get to Stop and Swap unless I actually connect to Banjo-Kazooie. We're gonna make a test real quick, ladies and gentlemen, because if so, that's terrible. I'm gonna be showing off Stop and Swap. I have Banjo-Kazooie inside my 360 right now. This file's just never played it. So there's a Stop and Swap egg right there. This, I didn't think it might be this bad. If this is actually the case, that's gonna be very, very, very bad. All right, so let's actually go up to the next stage that would actually have a Stop and Swap, which would be Freeze's Peak, primarily for the ice key. Also because, you know, it's close. I'm highly curious about this because if so, I did not know about this. I had played Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts on my 360 before the Xbox Live Arcade port of Banjo-Kazooie came out. And I remember that inside of Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, there was an advertisement for basically, and I hated it, saying, don't like Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts for how this gameplay is, don't like it at all because it doesn't play at all like a Banjo-Kazooie game? Buy the Xbox Live port. Huh. This is science. I legitimately did not know this if this is the case. And if this really is locking out content because you don't have a game, which at the time, mind you, ladies and gentlemen, Banjo-Kazooie, I think when it launched for Nuts and Bolts, it was a I think it was a $60 game. I remember I had gotten it for Christmas the year it came out. And, I mean, I was going to get it either way, but, I mean, for kids nowadays, Banjo-Kazooie is still 20 bucks. So, let's actually see if this is still the case. Hey, what was up? I'm here to torment you. Oh my god! They did! You literally can't even get Stop and Swap unless you have Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts! I am not joking, ladies and gentlemen. I did not know this. That's fucking underhanded. That's inexcusable. Like, I understand locking out content and everything, but this is something that was in the original game. This is also something that connects into Banjo-Tooie. So what if you ended up going into Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie, and, you know, you're told about the Stop and Swap, but you can't even access it because you don't have Nuts and Bolts? No, that's bullshit. That's actually highly bullshit. And it's rather terrible. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to have it that Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts shows up on my profile and see if that unlocks it. So I'm going to cut ahead real quick because I'm actually rather speechless about this. Oh my god. Ladies and gentlemen, I am back. I have Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts that it will show up on my achievements. My 360 knows I own Nuts and Bolts. I have to play the game and have a save file in order to unlock this. I wanted to save Banjo-Kazooie. Pretty much what I wanted to do was I wanted to save Nuts and Bolts as well as Banjo-Tooie for when I actually do get to them. This, I just don't know how I feel about this. Well, I do, and it's shocked that they would do something this this fucking underhanded. Here goes me and having hope. So, I ended up going online in between all this, and I'm going to put this on screen. Now, getting a used copy of Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts is relatively cheap. On Amazon, the cheapest right now is $12.50. Yeah, that's pretty reasonable. Pretty much most of it is, like, less than $20. However, that's still $20 you have to spend if you want to get the rest of the things inside of Banjo-Kazooie in general. If you actually want to get the Stop and Swap items, you will need to actually buy Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. And for a new copy, the cheapest one on Amazon is $59. And then it goes into ridiculous prices. I think the most expensive one is $92 for a brand new copy of Nuts and Bolts. Don't spend that much on Nuts and Bolts. Before we continue, I need to check and see if something else has been locked. If something else has been locked, I may have to end this project prematurely because my original goal was there were a few things that end up becoming available to you after you end up, well, basically beating Gruntilda. One of them is the Stop and Swap items. The other one is something that actually appears back inside of Banjo's house. If that's locked out, and I actually need to play Nuts and Bolts to do that, I'm going to have to stop this LP prematurely and then have those episodes come up in the future. Because, I mean, I could go and make a file and everything, but in my case right now, it's more of a principle thing, and also I want to have it that I don't have achievements for games on this profile, so then I unlock them and I show how to unlock them. So, I'm going to see if this is locked, and if it is, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Welcome.
Woo! Woo!